Do you like salami? Because I love salami. And I've been snacking on salami a lot. And that's been making me think of the time there was a murderer on loose in my neighborhood. Now, when I say this happened close by, it happened maybe a 10 or 15 minute walk away from my home. Some dude shot and killed 2 people and tried to kill a third before escaping off into the forest. Now, this was so close by, a lot of my neighbors said they could actually hear the gunshots. But I didn't hear anything. I was perfectly asleep in my room. I only woke up because the night before I bought myself a salami to have for breakfast. So, I reach off the side of my bed, and I grab the salami log off the floor, and I start cutting it onto a paper plate I had and balance it on my tummy, and I start playing video games. Now, my bed was a lot more comfortable than my seat, so I would just play video games while lying down like a champion. And that's what I did, because it was my day off. So as I'm playing video games, I get a phone call coming through, and I'm immediately annoyed because it's interrupting the very well-crafted plans I had for my day off. But I see it's my old parental guardian, and I'm like, alright, cool. So I answer the phone, and she goes, Louie, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. How you doing? You sound better than I thought you would be, considering the murderer on the loose in your neighborhood. And then I'm thinking I must have misheard her. It kind of sounded like she said murderer. And I go, the what on the loose in my neighborhood? And she's like, the murderer. And I'm like, oh, can I call you back? And I sit up so quickly, all that salami flies off my gamer gut, and I just start going through my phone, seeing texts that say things like murderer, killer on the loose, lookout, and I am freaked out. So I peek out of my room and I look at the front door and it's closed, but then I look over and I see the window is open. The big stupid window I tell my roommate not to open because it lets in all the bugs, because it doesn't have a screen. And I think that's annoying. There's gonna be bugs in here. So I go over to the window and I close it, and as I'm locking it, I look back at our kitchen. And I notice our kitchen is closed off from the rest of the apartment. And I think if I were a murdering fella, that's where I would hide, is in that kitchen, nice and closed off. And I think, that's ridiculous. There's not a killer in the kitchen. And even if there is a killer in the kitchen, I don't want to be the one to find him. So I'm just gonna go back to my room. So I run back into my room, and I close and lock the door, and I sit down, and I start thinking about the killer, and if he could be in my kitchen right now. I mean, the window was open, and that's pretty stressful. And you know what the worst thing about it was? Because I was gonna die on my day off. That's disgusting. It's just not okay to kill a guy on his day off. Kill me at my job, like a sensible human, or don't kill me at all, okay? Now, it stunk that the killer was guarding my precious food, but as luck would have it, I was already a big fat guy, so if one of us gonna eat, it'd be my roommate, not me. So I decided the best course of action would be to just sit in my room and not do anything in the quiet. And that's what I do for the next 30 minutes or so. So as I'm sitting there, I hear it. Bang, bang, bang. 3 extremely loud bangs coming from inside my apartment. And I think that sounded like it was coming from the front room. Oh, there really is a killer in my apartment. Now, I promise, I wasn't looking around my room for a place to hide. I wasn't like a tough, cool combat stance waiting to fight the killer. But then, I hear it again. Bang, bang, bang. But this time it's way louder. And it kind of sounds like it's coming from my front door almost. And I think, who'd be knocking right now? Did my roommate order a pizza or something? Why is someone at my door at this hour of all times when there's a killer on the loose? So I leave my room and quickly go to the front door to find out who's knocking. And I look through the peephole and I see a man with a gun. Now I freeze like a roach in the light, and I slowly look back through that peephole and I see it's 2 SWAT dudes with guns. And I think, I'd better let these guys in. So I open up the door and I go, come in, and they both come in. They go, is there anyone else in here? And I go, hey, roommate, come out. And my roommate comes out of his room looking extremely nervous, and he stands next to me in front of the SWAT guys. I warned you about opening that window. You're letting bugs. Now you're letting a real killer. Like a killer guy, not a killer bee. Now the SWAT guys don't tell us to put our hands up or anything like that, but I feel compelled to because they're holding guns, so I kind of had my hands out like a half-assed Frankenstein. I looked over, and my roommate's doing the same thing. And we listened to what the SWAT guys have to say. So the SWAT guys go, no, normally no one would ever let someone like this in their house, but during times like this, suspects have been known to actually hide out in residences without the owners knowing. So we're gonna have to do a quick search around your apartment. And I think, phew, thank goodness I didn't search the kitchen. They sent down people to do it for me. So one of the SWAT guys breaks off and starts searching our apartment, and I am immediately embarrassed because it's filthy and gross. And he goes in my room, and I know he has to see the salami and knife on my bed. And it gets worse, because the night before, I had a pizza with some friends, and to make him laugh, I drew a stupid shitpost of Papa John's on the inside of the box, and I still had it open and proudly displayed on the floor. And the cherry on top was I had a bottle of booze on my desk and I was only 19 at the time, and I knew SWAT people could arrest you if they find an unrelated crime during a search, and I was pretty sure I was going to be arrested that day. So, the SWAT guy finally leaves my room, and he goes and he checks out my roommate's room, and then he goes and checks out the kitchen. And afterwards, he comes out and he goes, "Alright, we're good," and they both leave. No, I was super relieved they didn't ask me how old I was, because I did not look old enough to drink at the time. And I just assumed maybe they had bigger fish to fry with a murder on the loose and they didn't really care. Either way, worked out for me. And I didn't even talk to my roommate about what just happened because I was too mentally fatigued to do anything other than go back to my room, lie down, and eat salami to recuperate my stamina. So here's where the story gets really spooky for me, right? They release some information about the killer after he's caught, and we learn the 2 people he killed were family members. That's sad. But the third guy was a complete stranger who escaped barely after he shot at him. And then he ran on the railroad tracks, and guess what? They were right next to my apartment. So that's not so great. With my window being open and him trying to kill random strangers and me and my roommate both being very murderable, I was very lucky that night I didn't end up dead. Even to this day, whenever I eat salami, I think about it. I know it's very odd to have such a strange and dark and sad memory tied to a delicious cured pig meat, but it is what it is. Well, you're very welcome for the video. I know you appreciate me. You probably laughed so hard at the video you spat up McDonald on your belly, and I know you just love your favorite YouTuber, Mildewy Louie. So, I hope you have a good day, and see you later.